Good evening, everyone. We are here for a virtual webinar on the ChatGPT advantage empowering professionals with cutting-edge AI insights by Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICAI. And for this, we have amongst us Chairman DAB, Charanjot Singh Nanda sir, our two speakers for the day, Sridharan sir and Akhil Pachori sir, and in absentia, Vice Chairman Dayanivas sir. So I welcome you all for this webinar and would like to thank both our speakers for their valuable time, and we hope this webinar would be of great insight to all our participants. Definitely a very new topic. न्यू यानी ऐसा है कि अभी तक बहुत कम लोगों को इसके बारे में पता ही है. फ्रैंकली बोलूं तो मुझे खुद 8-10 दिन पहले चैट जीपीटी क्या होता है ये पता चला जब मेरी बेटी ने चैट जीपीटी यूज किया फॉर एन आइटनरी फॉर वेकेशन. सो इट वाज अमेजिंग and we are here to learn how this ChatGPT, which is an artificial intelligence chatbot, would help us in our profession, I believe. So would like to welcome both the speakers and would like to thank them for accepting our invitation. So to go ahead and to start with, I would like to request Chairman DAB, Charanjot Singh Nanda sir, to give his address. Sir, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Madam Rupali. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have with me two of very reputed speakers, Mr. Sridharan, C.A. Akhil Pachori, and all participants who have come to give home more election. Ladies and gentlemen, ChatGPT is relatively a new term, but we all chartered accountants need to understand and incorporate such changes so that we are effectively able to support our clients and put them in the right perspective. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot that uses natural language processing to create human-like conversational dialogue, something which is very unique, yet it serves the purpose in such a fashion that people write, from professionals, writers, essay writers, to students use it. This language model can respond to questions and compose various written content, including articles, social media, posts, essays, codes, and emails. So it is using artificial intelligence and converting into something which is of a daily use. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, not only as the chairman of DAB, but as the chairman of IT committee of 9 countries of Southern Asian Federation of Accountants, SAFA, I have been proposing that we chartered accountants learn and understand technology. And let me tell you, for that, we have embarked upon a very ambitious project. The name of the project is Technology for Non-Tech Professionals. So I want your suggestion for that. We'll be bringing that sometime in 15 days or 20 days from now. We have the entire system set up. After this webinar, I have a meeting with the secretary to discuss this and put them in the right perspective. So ladies and gentlemen, time has come when all chartered accountants become technology savvy, serve not only their clients or stakeholders, but the government and regulators as well, and ensure that we add value. Technology gives us 3 very important things. Number 1, you don't have to serve only the sample. You can go through the entire database. Second, computers don't have wives. They don't want holidays. Whenever, what time you have to finish, it will finish. You will have the right time estimate. And third and most important thing is that whatever input or output comes, they are always error-free. You can always rely upon them. So we chartered accountants ultimately need to put them into the right perspective and bring before our membership the benefit of artificial intelligence, and more importantly, how you can utilize it to effectively service our clients. Not speaking much here, I can see 2 of my very revered speakers, Mr. Sridharan and Mr. Pachori, who have done a lot of work in ChatGPT, to come and tell us how ChatGPT can change the way we look at things, how they can add value to the entire perspective, which we have been carrying over so many years. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to C.A. Rupali Bothra. She would take the things forward now. Madam, the dice is all yours now. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Rightly said, ChatGPT is a very new subject and a very raw, I would say, and very few of us know much about it. And to add to this, we have young brains, young chartered accountant amongst us, see Akhil Pachori, and I believe he would be capable of empowering us, our all professional brothers and the counterparts. Sir, your what would I say, qualifications are like, he is a chartered accountant, certified information system auditor, certified ethical hacker, post-graduation certificate in cyber law, forensic audit and fraud detection, certified fraud examiner, registered valuer, internal quality auditor, certified concurrent auditor. He has also done his LLB. So, sir, it is endless, and he is presently the partner at Gopal Sharma and Company, which is leading risk advisory and IT audit department, IT firm. And he's from Rajasthan, I believe. And we are really great. We are really fortunate to have you amongst us, Akhil. And I feel our all our participants would enjoy hearing from you. So over to you.
Madam, he is from Jaipur and has been referred by one of our young council members, Mr. Rohit Ruatia, who's in Jaipur. So he would be adding value. And one thing I would request both Mr. Pachori and Mr. Sridharan, that we have to ultimately tell our members how you can utilize technology for professional development as well. We want to bring the entire bandwagon into technology so that we are able to effectively utilize that, not only for serving the purpose of our clients, but serving our business development as well. So request to both the speakers to kindly go through that sphere so that they are able to assimilate that and use it in further endeavors.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sridharan. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So I would like
Rohit
to
sir
thank...
would be starting, and later Sridharan sir would be continuing with it. So Rohit sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rupali ma'am, for such nice words. CS Nanda sir, whom we have been idealizing since our student days in chartered accountancy. He is one of the idol that we consider that because of his personality is such that we cannot leave behind the charisma that he has. So I would like to thank Rohit Bhaiya as well as CS Nanda sir, also Daya sir, who is not here in the meeting, for giving me opportunity. As rightly said, sir, we have to actually assimilate the technology that is going on, or that is going on, the development that is going on. Because without that, there is a conception that AI would replace humans, AI would kill so many jobs. I am of the opinion that a person who knows how to use an AI will replace a person who doesn't use it. So that is what is going to happen, not the vice versa, like AI is going to replace the humans. With this, I would like to start my presentation, and I would like to try it to be a more practical session rather than a PPT type session. So I think with this, I start my session. Yeah. So firstly, we all are here to learn about ChatGPT. But before ChatGPT, we have to understand what GPT stands for and what it does. So GPT simply stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now, what does it mean? Pre-trained, as we know, if you go to the last line, 175 billion parameters have been put into this, and the training has been given to this. The development of ChatGPT was not 1 year ago, 2 years ago. It has been going on since 2015. And the cutoff knowledge updated, or what we say, the cutoff knowledge that this ChatGPT chatbot knows is of September 2021. So whenever you ask the question, it will simply say, as my knowledge is limited to September 21, so kindly check or counter check it with the current updated data, because I am not trained till recent times, only till September 21. Now it was launched in November 22. As we all know, the company was OpenAI. It's the same company in which Elon Musk had ownership. He joined the company in 2015 and left the company in 2018. And I think yesterday only there was a news, yesterday or day before yesterday, that Elon Musk, along with many people, have been signing a petition that no further AI development should be there for the next 6 months, because it would be of grave danger or profound risk to the humanity and the society. So that is something what he thinks, but let's see what happens, comes into the future, what awaits in the future. Now, the latest version of GPT is GPT-4 currently, which is being provided to the paid users and a few bunch of developers, closed developers, who are currently developing the plugins. And after that plugins, it will be provided to you once they are tested, tried and tested. Initially, it would be provided to GPT-4 users. Later on, the free version users who are currently running on 3.5. And then we'll have then we have playground of OpenAI also. We'll discuss a bit about that also. Yeah. So ChatGPT, as Nanda sir has already told, it is developed by OpenAI, state-of-the-art natural language processing model that generates human-like answers. Now, human-like answers, that is only the essence, sir, because a bit of robots, or what we say, the artificial computer intelligence, we have been using it for decades. Google is somewhat AI, we may say, but to generate results like a human generates it, if you ask ChatGPT to be like, let's say, create a professional mail to be sent to my clients for reminder of advanced tax last date, or let's say for the reminder of the MSME 1 form that is to be filed in April next month. Now, if you mention that it has to be a professional, the person sitting behind GPT, that is the chatbot, will act as if he is a professional and he has to generate it in a professional manner. So the drafting would be a professional. Now, if you ask ChatGPT, be my friend and give me an advice. Now, as what a friend does is, it will casually give you the advice. Similarly, the ChatGPT will also be using the words that seems casual to you and that are frank. So that is the, we may say, USP of this ChatGPT that is taking so much importance. Now, this small statistics that I wanted to share with you. Netflix was launched in 1999. It took 3.5 years to reach 1 million subscribers, or what we say 10 lakh subscribers. Twitter, it took 2 years. Instagram, it took 2.5 months. Facebook, it took 10 months. But ChatGPT was the one who took only 5 days to reach the 1 million mark. And that 1 million mark has been breached. It has reached 100 million mark. That is 1 crore users. And that has also happened within 2 months. So you can understand how widely it is being used, and it is slowly and steadily, I mean, not slowly and steadily, it's reaching rapidly to the 1 billion user mark. So let's see what happens when it reaches the 1 million mark, because when it reaches that figure, it means every 7th person is using this chatbot. So that is something really big in the tech sector. Now, obviously, we have discussed that ChatGPT was launched on November 30, 2022, and GPT-4, the latest version, which was launched on 14th of March 2023. So the latest version is GPT-4, which is only 15 days old, but it has improved over 3.5. We'll try to give the same prompts to GPT 3.5 and 4 as well, and we'll try to see what is the difference. OpenAI is the company that is responsible, or we may say that owns DALL-E 2. So what DALL-E 2 is, for the viewers who don't know what DALL-E 2 is, it is actually AI art generator, how it generates art, sir? It generates art on the basis of the description you give. Like, let's say I give the description of a chartered accountant's office, where the windows look is of the corporate buildings, and the sun is setting in the evening. The chartered accountant is busy in his laptop doing some official work. So I'll provide so and so description, and it will generate a AI art which will match the description. So this is also one of the product of OpenAI. It's free to use for a limited times of description, or we may say for a few description you can use it for free. And Whisper also is of the same company, OpenAI. Now, how ChatGPT works? Sir, ChatGPT, you have to give prompt, it will generate the responses. It's same like what you give, it will generate the same thing. If you give instruction which are clear, concise, and detailed, it will give you the same answer, same quality of output, as the instructions are the input for this. And so what we can say is, if the instructions are bad, the output is going to be bad. Now, there is a debate going on that ChatGPT is also being dubbed as a Google killer. So why is it being called as a Google killer? Now let's understand the basic difference. What is Google doing and what is ChatGPT doing? Now Google, if you search, let's say I'll search Google for letter to GST department for adjournment of proceedings. Now, when I search this on Google, what it does is, it lists out the results with the link of the particular reference from where it is showing me the results. This is what a search engine has to do. Okay. Now, when these links are listed for you, there is a clear-cut reference that, let's say, there is a website like Say Club India, Tax Management India, Taxman, Tax Group. These all are the websites where you can pick the draft from. Now, obviously, you can pick the draft, but you have to pick and choose from the drafts which is the best one and which should I choose so that it suits my answer or what I am searching for. Now, come to the ChatGPT era. The ChatGPT, what it does, sir, you simply write, draft a letter to GST authority, you may describe the GST authority as well, for adjournment of proceedings in GST ASMT 10 cases by 1 week. Now I give the same output to ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT doesn't give you the references. It doesn't give you the advertisement like in Google we see when we search something. If somebody has paid Google for advertisement, that result would come up front. Now, ChatGPT, it won't be showing you any references. It will finally, or it will grasp all the results and give you the crux that, yeah, this is the draft you want. If you want to change something, you can give the follow-up question. Like, I don't like the draft of this letter. Kindly redraft it and be a more professional, write it in a more professional language. Now, what it will do is, it will regenerate the draft for the same adjournment proceedings only, but the draft would be having different language. And as I said, it is a professional language, so it will be more professional words would be used instead of casual words. So this is the basic difference between ChatGPT and Google. Now, sir, Google launched Bard AI in his event. I think when ChatGPT launched this chatbot, OpenAI launched this ChatGPT, Google was in a hurry to, compete with OpenAI and launch its own chatbot, which is Bard AI. So when they launched this Bard AI, what happened was, at the launch event of this Bard AI, as you all know, ChatGPT also had a launch event, which is a 25 minutes long video. You can see it on YouTube. Apple also has a launching event. Every company has a launching event. At the launching event, when there was a question being asked regarding the solar system, when was the first pick of outside the Milky Way or outside the solar system clicked, the output was incorrect. That is I think the Bard AI answered 2005, but the answer was I think 80s. So the factual inaccuracy of Bard AI put Google in the backend from launching that Bard AI, and what they had to do is they had to defer the launching of Bard AI. So currently you cannot use Bard AI. It is available only to the Google internal departments and the staff, because it is the news that I have received from Google employees is that they have been given access and they are giving regular feedback. I mean, Google is insisting so much on their employees that I leave apart other work, but you have to compulsory give this feedback of this Bard AI and use it in day-to-day life. So Google wants to compete. Now, sir, there is one problem with Google that we don't see. Google earns 80% of the revenue from the advertisement business. But if you see ChatGPT, there is no advertisement on the page as of now. When you go to Google, it is AdSense. It has got its own Google AdSense and everything. The person who has paid, it will have a preference on the search results and everything. So the difficulty with Google will also be there for launching this, because the 80% of what revenue it is getting is of the advertisement. So let's see where it goes and what happens, because Google is currently free. OpenAI is giving paid subscription. Let's see what happens. Now, when people talk about ChatGPT, sir, this is a threat to a profession. A chartered accountancy profession is going to be a soft target or something. I say, sir, what do you see in this glass of water? You see the empty glass, or you see the glass filled with water? I say those who see the empty glass are those people who consider it as a threat to the profession. Now let me tell you that though GPT, it is going to be a life-changing experience, or what I would say, it is going to add so much value to the profession that you yourself will feel. I mean, my father has been using it since a while. He's also giving really good feedback that yes, it's really good. The language that, because in northern India there is a language barrier of the people don't have so much fluent English. So what happens is ChatGPT automatically gives you the language that is really good, plus the type of language you want. If you want the professional language, it will generate in the professional language. Apart from the using it for the profession, just think, if there is a chartered accountant, I mean, I'm a client, I'm a person who is having this big company. Now I have two chartered accountants in front of me. One who is using this artificial intelligence, using ChatGPT to its best of advantage. The other person who is the person who don't use any tools, who doesn't know what is this basics of AI, who is not up to date about this developments in the artificial intelligence. Now, you only think who is the better choice for this business person. Obviously, the chartered accountant who is having the knowledge of the artificial intelligence and these tools, technology, everything. So I suggest, before the client comes to you, obviously people have been coming to you after searching on Google. Now the people would be coming to you after searching it on ChatGPT. But I suggest you start using ChatGPT before the client starts using it extensively, because the daily learning experience of this chatbot is so huge that, as I mentioned, Elon Musk and there are, ex-Apple founder Steve Wozniak and many more people from the Silicon Valley, they have written an open letter to kindly stop the development for 6 months because it would be of risk to humanity and the society. Because society will change the way of working. It will take away lots of jobs. It will take time. It may take a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But it will take away those jobs which are only for the assistance for you. There is no mind application. Like there are little works that you assign to your staff or to your assistants. You kindly do this and you wait for them to complete so that you can check that work. Now, that work would be done by ChatGPT, and what you have to do is you have to use that content and apply it wherever you wanted it to apply. This is the basic difference that is going to come, the jobs of the people like these. And apart from these, the content creators, it is going to be a huge change because it is generating content, be it on the basis of biased data or data, whatever training it has been given, but it is generating the content for you. We'll see how it does. Okay, now I have already discussed poor instructions amounts to poor results. It's better if you use the better instruction. Now, how do we provide better prompts to ChatGPT so that we get more and more detailed result and good results? Now, let's see. So there is a basic difference between a simple prompt and a detailed and a good prompt. For make your prompts to reach next level, you have to do these things. First, you have to give them a context of what you want that to do. Then you will explain the topic. Like, let's say I want a draft letter to be submitted to the GST department for reply against ASMT 10 notices. Now I explain the topic that I want a letter. I have specified the task that you have to draft a letter on the basis of ASMT 10. And the context, you are a draft writer, you are a chartered accountant, you are acting on the behalf of the SSA, you have to reply. So these 3 things you have to do. Then thereafter, what the ChatGPT generates, you can ask the follow-up questions. Like, I don't like the draft, kindly redraft it and make it more detailed, plus include a few case laws in this reply. So what it will do, it will include the case laws which are relevant to the topic, like I described that ASMT 10 is being issued for mismatch between GSTR 1 and 3B. Now kindly provide the supporting case laws in the favor of the SSC and draft a reply. So what will happen? It will draft a reply on the basis of all the input that we have provided, and then you can ask the follow-up question. So that's the basic thing that you have to do. Now, after the emergence of AI, what sort of job posting are coming in the market? Let's see. See, this is a company, Anthropic. This is the job posting, prompt engineer and librarian. And this is in San Francisco. Now, what is the paycheck? See, 1,75,000 to 3,35,000 a year, depending on the candidate. Now, that's a really huge sum if you calculate it in INR. Now, what they have to do is, you have to creatively think about the risk and the benefits of the new technology and think beyond the past checklist and the playbooks. I mean, you have to be creative and you have to try with these chatbots and artificial intelligence. And whatever you get, you have to maintain a log of it or maintain a library of it. And then you have to keep them updated, whatever changes are coming in the space. So if you can see, this is something new that has come into the market. There was content creator, now it is prompt engineer that we are seeing. Now, moving ahead. So this is what I use very frequently. If you want to be ahead in the curve of this whole technology, this whole technological development. You have to adopt it instead of saying that it's of no use, it's dumb, or whatever it is, it's going to be of no use, whatever. If you are adopting it, it's of your benefit only. You will be moving in the market. Those who are not following will be left behind. We'll see that in the future. Now, application of the chatbots. See, ChatGPT can be used as a chatbot. Obviously, we have seen. But chatbot, obviously, okay, I'm chatting like we chat on WhatsApp, Insta, Facebook, whatever. How do we use it for the academic development? Or let's say, I'll showcase something which is of our importance. Like, I will share my screen in a moment. Yeah. So if you see, this is, I mean, I have taken the paid version. So you might be seeing that it is showing me GPT-4 as well. The free version is giving you only the access to GPT 3.5. But GPT-4, actually, it has got more reasoning. Speed is also increased, and the conciseness of the collection and presentation has also been better. Now, let's give them an example. Okay, now we all know it's 31st today. After, I think, starting from 3rd or 4th, we all will be going to the bank audit, where we have to use so many of the master circulars of the RBI. The guidance note, I think guidance note, which is issued by ICAI, that is a 812 pages long guidance note. I don't know how many of you read it, but for me, personally, I won't be able to do that 812 pages reading. I would be only picking the part that is applicable to me. Plus, there are a few formats as well and many more things. Now, sir, if you want to use that to your advantage, let's say I want to take this, make this ChatGPT as a chatbot for the guidance note. Okay, before using ChatGPT, let's see what are the other tools that you can use for creating these chatbots. Okay. Okay, there is something known as chatpdf.com. You can use it. It is actually free to up to a limit. Like, you can drop a 120 page file. Like, let's say I'll drop FAQs on the real estate sector. Okay, now I have dropped the FAQs on the real estate sectors. Now what I'll do is I'll just ask the questions. Like, this chatbot has already given me the suggested question what you may ask from me. Like, what is the effective rate of GST applicable in constitution for promoter by real estate? Now let's ask something different. What is the rate of GST on affordable housing construction? Also provide me with the conditions attached with the rate of X. Now I'll just put enter. Now what I will do is it will scroll from this real estate sector FAQ file, and it will give me an answer. Like, let's say the effective rate of GST applicable on the construction of affordable residential apartment is 1% without ITC on total consideration. However, this rate is subject to certain conditions which are mentioned on the pages provided. Please refer to the relevant Gazette notification for more information. So they have already provided. Kindly refer the gazetted notification. This is what I can provide you from on the basis of this file that you have provided. Now there is a limitation of this chat PDF, or there is one more tool, ask your PDF if you want. It also provides the same uploading of the PDF files, and then you can use them for chatbot. So like I can upload any other file, but now let's come to the point. How do you upload the 812 pages file, which is the guidance note on audit of the banks? Now see, I think this, see, this is the guidance note, which is of 812 pages. Now you are really, I mean, I would say learned enough if you have the capacity to read this 812 pages. I won't be doing this. I would simply be asking the relevant question. Now what you have been doing since now? Like, let's say if you want to search for something like NPA, you will control F and then you will search NPA. It will give you some results which are not relevant also, but it will take you to the answer. Look, there are 338 searches for NPA. So what you will do is you can use this chat PDF. I'll show you how. So what I am going to do is I'm going to act as a chatbot for me. Provide for me for the material provided at. Now what I'll do is provide the link of the ICAI website where this 812 pages guidance note is posted. I'll just click on enter. Okay, I didn't entered anything, but it has read that it is a guidance note on the audit of banks 23 edition by the ICAI. As a chatbot, I'm here to help you answer any question or provide information regarding the content. Okay. Now I want to ask I wanted to serve the guidance note for, let's say, what are the documents required for NPA classification, or what are the non-performing assets are loans and advances that are in default. It is giving me a general definition. Okay, now it has come to the categories. Like, let's see, the NPAs are divided into the following categories. The first one comes as a substandard. The second one comes as a doubtful assets. It is also providing for those who are start doing it for the first time. It is really helpful, this chatbot. Similarly, like now they have come to the loss assets. Similarly, sir, I think I have loaded this guidance note on the audit of banks. If you want the master circulars to be loaded, I think you can how to load the master circulars as well. I'll just ask the ChatGPT to act as a chatbot for me for the material provided at so and so link. So this is what I'll do for making this model of ChatGPT a chatbot for this guidance. Now it would be helpful for master circulars. It would be helpful if you want, like, let's say I am giving this examination of concurrent audit or FAFD. Now the institute provides me material. Okay. Now the institute has provided me with the material. I have the question that are being asked. are MCQs, correct? Now, how do I prepare myself using ChatGPT so that it helps me in the examination hall for my preparation? Now, what I'll do is, now ask me questions from the material provided at format of MCQ should be like option A, comma B, comma C, and D. Now, see, sir, I just provided it. Let's say I have to give an exam on the basis of guidance note of bank. Let's suppose. Now, this chatbot is giving me generating the question along with the correct answer. Now, let's see what it has generated. Which of the following represents the highest level of audit evidence reliability? The options were photocopies, bank statements, oral evidence, or the external confirmation received directly by the audit. Obviously, the correct answer is D. Now, I'll ask generate 10 more such questions. Okay, now one question was not enough. I have asked to generate 10 more. After 10 are finished, I can now obviously ask to generate 10 more. After 10, or I can directly ask them to generate 100. But there is a limit after which you have to type on continue, like it will stop after a period of time after generating so and so data. So you will have to type continue. So now what I have done is I have given the role of generation of, I think if Nanda sir is there, I would suggest the BOS or the respective ICAI authorities may use this for the development of the MCQs with prior validation with the correct answer, obviously, because if you see, there are instances where the ChatGPT have been wrong, like Bard AI, ChatGPT has also been sometimes wrong. Sometimes it may generate illogical answers which are not relevant to the topic as well, like these. So, plus, if CS Nanda sir is there, I would also suggest one more thing. Sir asked that for SAFA, for how to use technology for the non-technical professions. Sir, I would suggest if there is a mechanism, as you are the head of the tab, I would ask, sir, there can be a mechanism on the ICAI website, like a member logs into the website, and what happens after that is there is a chatbot at the bottom which is being loaded with all the guidance notes, all the latest master circulars, all the latest material that is being used for bank audit. Now, how it will be of use, sir. Just we can see that how I have generated the queries from the guidance note. Similarly, if all the master circulars, guidance note, everything is loaded on this ICAI website, what I'll do is I'll just have to tell my article, okay, now go to this ICAI website, log in with these credentials, and just ask whatever your query is, whatever answer it generates, kindly verify it with me. Then if I say okay, then it's okay, you use it. If not, if you have, obviously after a period of time, if it is generating more and more correct answers, there will be a trust level also that will be generated on for as a human, I mean human tend to trust people and the technology. Like we have been trusting Google after the Google proved its efficiency with the reference links. Now, similarly, it would be of great help. So, these were the two instances how we used ChatGPT for generating the questions here. I hope the participants are writing the prompts how I have generated these, because these are of the more importance, because this is the format that I provided. Then only it directly gave the question. Instead, what you would have done, generate questions on so and so, it wouldn't give the options. If you have written option, then it wouldn't have provided the correct answers also. So this is something which is of the more detailed you go, the more concise you will get the answers. As I told you, this here I loaded a 800 pages PDF file. You can load any number of files and any number of page file in this chatbot. I don't know whether this ChatGPT 3.5, that is the free version that you are using, would be able to do it. But yes, since I have the paid version, I was able to do this. So, okay. Now we'll move to a few more use cases. Like, sir, there is a concept of minutes of meeting, right? That has to be generated on the basis of every board meeting. I don't know how many chartered accountants are doing it, but there are many chartered accountants who have been doing this for companies and their clients. So, how can this ChatGPT be of advantage? We'll also see that also. Sir, see, before that, I'll tell you one this AI tool which can be used. I'll just take you to the pricing first. See what the free basic version includes. It includes record and transcribe your meetings in real time. Okay. Auditor assistant joins Zoom, Teams, Google Meet to automatically take and share notes even if you can't join the meeting. Okay. Takeaways, automated summary, automated slide captures. So it will generate the summary of the meeting, and then from there you can generate the minutes of the meeting. The limit for the free version is 300 monthly transcription minutes. That is, I think, roughly 5 hours, and 30 minutes per conversation. So 10 meetings of 30 minutes you can do in the free version. If you think it's of more importance, you can obviously go for this pro version. And then we have the business version, which has more and more features, 6,000 monthly transcription. Now, I don't want to use this Auditor.ai. I have a bit more meeting and I have a long meeting, but there is an option in Zoom, if you know, there is an option in Zoom where you can export the transcribe, and the transcribe has been exported. It will be in the manner of let's say right now I am speaking. So my captions would be generated. Then Nanda sir, in between he speaks like the formal inaugural keynote address. Then thereafter Rupali madam introduced me. Then thereafter so this whole if either you are watching the whole meeting, or what you can do is you can use the transcribe and generate the summary. Now here, sir, I have with me a meeting sample transcribe, not of India but of outside India. But I'll try to see how can it be used. Now, see, I just copied this whole transcribe. This is actually something. Let's see what the transcribe is. Commissioner is saying something. There will be a meeting of budget to look at the solid waste funding. Then there are a few people also who are speaking, like chairman, commissioner. So it's a meeting of chairman, commissioner of the local county, and they are discussing about the local, like what we have Nagar Nigam or municipality in our area. Their meeting is going on, board meeting. Now, what I'll simply tell ChatGPT is above is the transcribe of meeting, generate the minutes of meeting for me. Now it is analyzing and then it is generating the minutes of the meeting. Okay. See, minutes of the county commission meeting, date, you may enter the date. Now, if I enter here, date is this 31st of March, time was 6 p.m. It will automatically in the draft replace this insert date of meeting and time with these specified date and time what we enter. Okay. Now, the meeting minutes have started, generated. Call to order. Chairman only called the meeting. Wamsley called the meeting to order and a clerk called the roll to ensure a majority was present. The agenda was approved as received with the motion of Commissioner and a second from Commissioner Holmes. Approval of meeting. The minutes of the last meeting were approved with a correction to include McCroskey's name in the special committee. New business, older. Now it will come to the older business as well. So it is actually generating the minutes on the basis of the whole transcript. It cannot go here or there. It is actually analyzing what was said in the meeting. That part is only being used. Now, sir. Okay, I'll stop while it is generating. We will generate another account. Now, there is a meeting and there are regular board meetings that are supposed to happen. Now, I'll just ask ChatGPT to generate the minutes of the meeting for the first board meeting for a private limited company. Now, let's see what it generates. Generate me minutes of meeting for a private limited company of first board meeting for a private limited company in India as per the Companies Act 2013. Now let's give the company a name. ICAI RVO Private Limited. Now let's generate. See the minutes of the first board meeting. I don't know what happens in the first board meeting, to be frank. So let's see what happens and whether ChatGPT knows that what has to happen in the first board meeting of a private limited company. Okay, it was called to order. Director present, we will insert the names. Okay, we will insert appointment of chairman. Insert name of the appointment was unanimously appointed as chairman. Chairman has to be appointed in the first board meeting. Okay. Approved. Agenda was approved. Approval of incorporation documents. The board reviewed and approved the COI, MOA, and AOA of the company. So I didn't know that this has to happen, but ChatGPT knows that since it's a first board meeting, this business has to be taken up. Appointment of the first auditor. I hope this is also something that has to be done. Insert the name of the auditing for the AGM till the conclusion of the first AGM. Okay. KMP also has to be appointed, where you can say this is MD, this is company secretary, this is CFO. So wherever applicable, you can insert the relevant official. If not, like CS is not mandatory for a few private limited small companies and everything. So we can skip that part. Now, bank has to be opened. So board has to resolve to open a current account in so-and-so bank of the in the name of the company and authorize so-and-so person to operate. Director's interest, that there is no maintain a register of director's interest has to be maintained. Okay. Common seal has to be approved. Okay. preliminary expenses that were incurred for incorporation of the company, that has to be approved, like what were the expenses incurred. Okay. Statutory registration authorization. Filings with ROC and other authorities are required under company. Like we say GST registration and any other business can be included. So I hope this is clear. But now I want something else. Sir, what happened was 30th September was the last day to conduct AGM for a private limited, we all know. Now what happened is a private limited company was not able to conduct the AGM. Now I don't know, as a let's say layman, what is the consequences and what has to be followed to correct these non-compliances. Now I'll ask ChatGPT. I am the director of XYZ Private Limited. The AGM of the company was not held within the due date as prescribed in the Companies Act 2013. Kindly provide me with the consequences of such action and how it can be, and I would rather say, and what can be done now. Now I have just written Companies Act 2013. I don't know what's the date. The AGM I have not conducted as per Companies Act. Now provide me what are the consequences and what can be done now. I mean, obviously, if the mistake has been committed, now what can I do? So I'll just hit the enter. Now let's see what ChatGPT has to say. See, first disclaimer that is giving, I am not a legal expert, but I can provide you with some general information on the consequences of not holding AGM. Okay. Now it is also telling, please consult a legal professional for advice specific to your situation. One more thing, here, what can happen is, since the training of ChatGPT currently is till September 21 only, so any changes that might have happened after that are not incorporated in this ChatGPT as of now, today. So there may be we may say, lagging of updation, like a Companies Act, GST, we have regular updation. So those updation might not be available with this ChatGPT. But provided with links, we can do linkage of these and leave apart links. I think after a few period of time, I hope in April it comes by 15th April or within April. I'm hoping that the plugins will be launched by OpenAI. What will happen with the plugin, sir? See, currently this is trained till September 21, correct? What will happen if I provide it with the Bing browser plugin or browser plugin, leave apart Bing? It will have the up-to-date data till the moment of 6:59 p.m. 31st March 2023. Whatever has been published on the web, it will have the access. Now, can we say that when this will come, it will provide me the latest updates of the topic that we are asking from ChatGPT to answer? I hope the answer is yes. Similarly, many more plugins are being developed by the developers. That is why the access has been prioritized to the developers who are developing OpenAI plugins. Now see what it has generated. Now, consequences of not holding AGM. The penalty, it is telling that the company will be fined 1 lakh. A further fine of 5,000 per day may be imposed during the default continues. during the period the default continues. Officer may be subject to a fine of 25,000 and in case of continuing default 2,000 per day. Shareholder have the right to approach NCLT to seek an order directing the company to hold the AGM. I don't know whether this is correct or not, but still you can check it whether it's correct or not. Now what can be done? Okay. Convene a belated AGM. The company should convene the AGM as soon as possible to mitigate the consequences. Apply for an extension if possible under section 96(1) of the Companies Act. The ROC may grant an extension of up to 3 months provided the application is made before the due date of the AGM and the ROC is satisfied. So this is something which cannot be done now. Seek legal advice. It is advisable to consult a legal professional whether you can go to NCLT, you can go for condonation of delay or somewhat like that. So for that you have to still consult the legal professional. Now, sir, for now, on 31st March 23, it is asking us to please consult our legal advisor. I hope 1 year down the line, 6 months down the line, it won't be telling you that please consult a professional legal advisor, because the training that will be provided or the training that it is getting, it is going to create disruption in the industry. The chartered accountancy profession, I would say, will change if you move with the technology and continue its usage in your regular day-to-day work. You train your staff with this whole what ChatGPT in the technology landscape that is going on in the market. It would be beneficial for your firm, for you, because your work would be reduced by much for all the petty works that you have to monitor or you have to do to get it done from your staff. So that would reduce and it will save you a lot of time. Now, okay, now let's take a text advice from this ChatGPT. I purchased a plot of land, residential. Okay, let's leave this residential land. Let's ask the HRA. How much HRA deduction will I get for from my salary, so that I can accordingly plan my tax and advance tax accordingly, because I have other income also and everything. So I'll have to plan. So what is the amount of HRA exemption that I would get? Now I'll simply put I pay a rent of rupees 30,000 per month in Mumbai. I have a monthly income of rupees. I would say salary of rupees 1 lakh per month. And the other thing that we have to give is HRA. I receive HRA of rupees 50,000 per month from my employer. Calculate the amount of HRA deduction that I would get. Now, those who are aware, we know HRA, for HRA deduction, there are 3 parameters for calculating the exemption. The first one is the actual HRA. Second is the rent paid minus 10% of salary. and the third one is the 50% of the basic salary. Now, I didn't mention whether it's a metro, whether it's a non-metro. I just simply mentioned I pay rent of 30,000 in Mumbai. Now, ChatGPT knows Mumbai is a metro city. It's good if we finally give you the calculation of 50,000, 50% itself. Now, in your case, it is giving the HRA, okay, 50,000, rent paid minus 10%, that is 20,000. 50% of the basic salary, that is, since Mumbai is a metro city, see, 50% comes out to 50,000, and the HRA exemption minimum of this 20,000 per month. Now that comes out to 2,40,000 per year. So I know I would be getting this exemption, and the taxable amount would be 3,60,000. So this is what I can use it for, because since the tax, this HRA formula has not been changed in September 21. So I would say this is something which is correct in my opinion. Now, I would say, sir, there are a few circulars, I would say, which are being provided by the GST department on the occasion of GST council meeting, or I would say notification are being provided, circulars are then being generated by the CBDT or CBIC, and they are being moved. Now there are, let's say, 10, 12, 15, 20 notification which have come over a night, and you have to analyze it, then you have to, bring out the crux out of it, because you have to be updated with the latest happening in the GST. You are an indirect tax practitioner. So similarly, what we use the guidance note of the banks, likewise, what we can do is we can use it for creating the crux out of the circular set. I'll do that also, but before that, we'll do a bit of PPT. We'll come back to PPT again. Now, customer service. So, customer service, how can it be given, the customer service? See, customer service, like, let's say there are, obviously you all must have seen the WhatsApp chat of the chatbots, like every company, big major company, Redbus, Make My Trip, Geo and all, major companies or small companies also, they are having the WhatsApp chatbot. What it does is, sir, you click on hi, like let's say you just hello, hi, whatever. Then it generates a list of options that yes, you have to choose from the options available. Now what happens is, in such chatbots, after you choose an option, then thereafter it redirects you the menu available after that option. See how these chatbot work is, there is a simple work diagram, flow chart, what we can say. If you do this, it will go to high. Okay, now there are 6. Out of this, if you choose the first one, it will take you here. If you choose the second one, it will take you here. If you choose the third one, it will take. Now further, it will take you further to the next service, then thereafter to the next, and the cycle goes on. So this is what happens in the traditional chat. Now, just imagine if you have ChatGPT integrated with the chatbot on your customer service or on website, it will generate a human-like text or human-like chatting would be available on your website. It will be of great value since the customer service experience of every customer would increase. Language tutoring, obviously, you can learn basic language. Okay, basic with this language tutoring, what I'll do is I'll ask them to draft a reply in Hindi. Let's see what happens. Draft a reply in Hindi to income tax department for adjournment of proceedings in scrutiny cases. Case of Messrs. ABC Limited. Now see sir, it has started generating it in Hindi. I have tried a few languages. It is able to generate in Punjabi. In Gujarati, I have tried. Rajasthani, I was not able to do. In Bengali, it can do. A few more like Sridharan sir is, let's say he is from Tamil Nadu. I don't know. Sorry, sir, if I'm wrong. But let's say he's from Tamil Nadu, so I'll generate it in Tamil. Let's see whether Tamil is available. So yes, Tamil is available. I don't know what it is, but basically it is going to address the ITO and then thereafter the subject and the year and everything. So yes, you can generate like many departments, state departments, or many local departments, the panchayat departments, everything. They sometimes want you to reply in Hindi or the local native language. So for that, you can also use this to translate. Or I mean, what we used to do was we used to type it in English, then go to Google Translate, then thereafter copy that, then make a few changes because Google Translate is not the perfect version of the translation. So then we have to create the final draft and then send it to the department. Here, the translation part is done away with, and I hope the language part, I think the translation what Google had some errors, these are also done away with. What I have tried. So you may try in your language and see if the same error is happening with you also or not. Okay, now let's make a summary of the case law. Now, okay, there is a case law, let's say, latest case law we'll search. Okay, I just went to the first website. Latest GST case law. And okay. So there is a problem what I get, but I'll still try. I'll still try because the what I think there would be a problem is because the data of this is till till September 21 only. So there may be a problem that this latest case law of this Balaji Exim versus Commissioner, which was recently decided, it may not generate a proper summary, but still I'll try. I want you to generate a summary of Balaji Exim versus Commissioner. Give it to me within 300 words. I'm just hoping whether it is giving me or not. Let's see. I'll also compare because it may be wrong. ChatGPT may be wrong for the time. Refund application. Okay, it was a refund issue. Seeking refund of unutilized input tax credit. Okay. IGST, this. And what was held by court? The court. Okay, so this website, whatever it is, gstsuffer.com. This website is giving the crux. fact of the case and what was held by the court in the favor of SSC, concept of GST refund. Okay. Now, this is the crux that they provided for the website. Now, let's say that I am this website and I want to provide the crux. I'll just simply go there to ChatGPT. Let's see whether this is the same thing that is happening. Is where required to register its warehouses in different states under CGST. Okay. So it is talking about something different. It is talking about something regarding place of business and everything and all. If I would have used the exact details like appeal number and everything, then maybe there would be have been chances. But since the knowledge, this what we saw just now is the loophole currently for the artificial intelligence. Those who use Google or Bing AI, they may know that yes, this Balaji exam is not about place of business. It is talking rubbish. This ChatGPT. It is about the refunds issue. Okay, now for those, since there is only 15 minutes left, then thereafter Sridharan sir will take the session ahead. For those who want to use ChatGPT 4 free of cost, when this ChatGPT was launched 14th March 2023, Microsoft, what it said is, sir, we have been using it on Bing for quite some time, so you can use it without paying anything. So let's see what it asks. See, ChatGPT Plus subscription, what I have taken is it is of $20 per month. Apart from this, you can also go to playground.openai. Okay, now see, this is the playground. Here also you can try it out. Obviously, this is the paid version. Here you have currently we have one more advantage. What it is that speech to text function is available right here. So if you have a, let's say, recording on your phone of the meeting, minutes of the meeting, you can directly upload it. And what will happen is it will create the whole transcribe. Then you can ask this from here only. You can ask generate a summary of the above transcribe and prepare it a minutes of the meeting. So this is the main feature. Now, if we come to the pricing part, see, this is the pricing of this. Actually, what currently it is actually giving you the subscription on the basis of paper use. I mean, how much you are using, that much only you have to pay. So it's $0.03 for 1,000 tokens. 1,000. I mean, it roughly is 800 words. This 1,000 token. So for this, you can use Playground also if you want the latest access to GPT 4. What it does is when you apply for this upgradation, what happens is it will create a hold of $5 in your account or the credit card, whatever you are using to pay. When whatever usage you have done over the period of 1 month, it will automatically generate a bill of whatever. Let's say you use the prompt of amount $3.86. So then what will happen is it will charge $3.86 to your card. If it is above 5, you'll have to charge again. You have to increase the limit. So you can use OpenAI Playground as well. But I think currently, if you don't have much use, you may use the free version. Once the APIs are available, then you may surely go for this paid version. Now, now we are where? Bing. Now here there is a Bing extension, sir. If you see on the right corner of the Microsoft Edge, where we have chat, we have compose, and we have insights. We have all the three options where it will tell you the insights. Where now, let's say I just want to generate an email. The tone should be professional. casual, enthusiastic, international, informational, or funny. Now let's generate a professional email. Length should be long. Draft a mail for sending to client or reminding about sending the audit data. I'll just click on generate draft. Now it has started thinking. Now it will provide me with an email with the subject, with the dear and all. Yeah, audit data request. Dear client, we hope this email finds you well, that you are satisfied. Now, since it's a US based company, see the closing financial year here, there is December 31st, 2022. So it is giving you the date of the closing of the financial year as 31st. Now let's just ask whether they know that the financial year in India ends in 31st March on. I just add the India here, and now I have clicked on generate draft. See, it has converted itself from 31st December 22 to 2023. Following data by April 15, 23, so that we may do the required audit. And what all documents we want? Balance sheet, income statement, cash flow, trial bell, tax return, and supporting documents. So this is the whole thing that we also, if you want ChatGPT, here the length is not being defined, but yeah, in ChatGPT you can give them a length like in 1000 words you have to draft a mail, or in 200 words you have to draft a mail. This is what the compose was all about. Now let's discuss the chat function of this Bing AI that is on the right corner. Now I want it to be more balanced. Okay, now I will just ask who is CA CS Nanda. I'll just ask about Nanda sir to the Bing AI. Let's see what it does. Actually, this is the real time because Bing is a search engine. So this is accessing the real time data, and it will also list if there are a few more. Okay, I'll have to ask more detail. So I'll just put on who is Charanjot Singh Nanda sir. So now it will search, and I hope this is a very unique name all over the world. It will give you the correct answer, most probably, and yes, it has. ICAI, he is the chairman of the DAB of ICAI. You can contact him at this or this. I hope this is the mobile number of Nanda sir. Plus, it provides you the references like, see, one, it has taken it from ICAI. And this is also been taken from ICAI. A bit more information. Now I'll just ask a bit more information. Okay. Okay. So what it has done is, this Bing AI is powered with ChatGPT. So I didn't use this CTS county commission meeting here. I used it right here. So I'll just have to ask something else. Detail me about CA. Or let's say now I'll ask about me. Let's see, because the surname is unique. There may be not so many people who are Akhil and who are chartered accountants. So let's search about it. I'll also ask something about a common name, then we'll see what happens, what it gives. Okay. I found a LinkedIn profile where he's doing partner, okay, in Jaipur, Rajasthan. So this is something it has found out about me. Now, this is the real-time information that is available, because I think Nanda sir became the chairman of DAB in February. So we can check that this is the latest information. Apart from that, there are a few more tools that you can use. What I would say is, okay, now let's say I have to mail something about, I want the audit data from my client and I have to mail. So I just generated it and then I have to copy and then I have to paste. So it's I sometimes feel that it's something hectic. So I just want it to be, I want it to happen quickly. So what I'll do is I'll just click on audit DA. See. Dear sir, I hope this email finds everything that I copied from, I generated it from ChatGPT, I have pasted it in the template and it has been pasted here. What I did is I / audit data. As soon as I click on A, it will generate the whole thing. See. It also checks you with the speed also. If I am writing very slowly, it won't generate like I did right now. Now I just want, okay, I want to send the reminder of MSME. I'll just type MSME 1 half year 1. Okay, so it has generated me with this. Okay, this is for October period. I'll just click on MSME 1 HY2. Okay, so this is the last date for 30th April. Kindly do these tasks and provide us with the list of those MSMEs whose payment has not been done till 45 days. So this is what. Now, how did I do this? So there is something known as text blaze. This is the last thing, after which I will move to the PPT and then close the, I will be handing over the session to Sridharan sir. See, what I did is I just created a sample template where I named this the label as MSME half year 1, second half reminder. I mentioned the shortcut here. So wherever I type in the Chrome, it's an extension, you can use it. I type MSME FY2, it will generate the whole data. So all you have to do is either you can say, many people send a generalized mail, dear valued client, and then BCC it to many clients. If there are only 2-3 clients, then you can send it to with personalization of the client name, and then it can be of use. So you just have to replace this. So this is the text place extension that you can use. You have to just, like, let's say I'll try it out. I'll just type info. Here, sir. This is to inform you that we have concluded the March closing for the year. Okay, I just click on write out. So it is generating. Now I'll just come here, I'll click on info. Yeah, it is working. So it's that simple. You can use it for day-to-day life. It's really easy. I hope you all like this. Okay, knowledge management, like we did, we asked the question answers from the, after loading the PDF file. Creative writing, you can write creative mails, creative text messages. You can even create the social media text messages like LinkedIn post. You can write a whole LinkedIn post on a particular topic, trending topic. You can write something on for Facebook. it will personalize it on what content has to be there for Facebook, on what content has to be on Twitter. Like I write me a Twitter thread on so and so topic. So it knows that I'll be posting it as a thread. So it will provide me within 280 characters that yes, you have to generate one tweet within 280 characters. So then it will take care of that also. Education, we all know quiz question we generated. It can be used for updation and taxation. We all knew that how can it be used. Auditing, sir, it can be used for auditing. Like Nanda sir told that you don't have to now audit the sample. You have to actually audit 100% of the data. That is only possible if you use the technology, if you use the artificial intelligence. What I'll do in the auditing, let's suppose I'll generate an Excel file from the let's say there is a sales data. I'll take a Excel file from them from my client. I'll input the whole Excel to this ChatGPT. What I'll do is I'll just provide me the top 10 sellers of the company, or rather I would say they provide me with the top 10 billing amount of the company. Then there are a few columns of, let's say, e-way bill, then so and so topics. So what I'll do is I'll find me the exceptions where the e-way bill was not generated and e-invoice was only generated. Then we'll also see, then we can also know, yeah, this is the thing, something that is being taken care. Because, sir, government departments, GST department, DGR, as you all know, it has been using this tool, has been using other tools, not ChatGPT specifically, but they will use this also for their convenience, and then they also will see the usage. So it is us who we have to improve, whom we have to upgrade ourselves. It is not any other person whom we have to upgrade. So I hope, yeah, this is meeting agenda, preparing the minutes, regulatory filings. You can also ask on the guidance how to fill SPICE plus form to incorporate a company. It will guide you the whole process. Mails, messages, that we can do research, as I did with the case law that I did. It can be useful for case law searching also. Like provide me with the case law where the SSE was favored by the court and the matter was related to GSTR 3B versus 2A mismatch. So this can also be used. So you can, you have to try this thing, and you'll learn how powerful this is. Reports, presentation, okay, tax bot I have already discussed, sir. If ICAI can provide us with the tax bot after login, obviously, then it would be of great help. AI-powered audit tools, Big Fours have been using it. So we have, mid-sized firm can develop these tools as well, if not small. Financial planning chatbots also are there present, and many more will come. Whether Wealthfront and Betterment are these two financial planning chatbot which are widely used. They are actually, you provide them data, on the basis of that they will automatically give you everything. Okay, mail drafting, finding case laws. Okay, you can use it for social media presence also. You can generate it for the PPT slides. Like if you want to generate PPTs, there is a site called as Slide GPT. So you can go there also, and it will generate you the slides, not only the content, the slides also. Summarization, it can do website coding, obviously. Accounting software integration. Sir, once AI comes, what all small things that we do, or what we have been doing at the year end, it will automatically do. Let's say 3 years data I've been training, I've been doing or accounting on a particular software. Then after 3 years, I want a CMA of, I want to upgrade my loan to 20 CR from 10 CR to 20 CR. What I'll do is ask the software only to provide me the 2-year projection and prepare me a CMA for, let's say State Bank of India, I have a loan with State Bank of India, I want to enhance the limit to 20 crore. So it will automatically generate, it is possible. It will happen for all the online available cloud-based accounting solution they are going to integrate. So we have to use them. If someone can generate another this sort of tool, then also it is possible. Okay, it will benefit us by way of efficiency. We'll have more and more efficiency. We'll have more time for other works. Accuracy, obviously, it's some issue, but after a lot of training, it will provide accurate data as well. Cost effective, obviously, it's $20, around 1,700 rupees. So you can just think it is how much cost effective it is. If you can generate a proper mail and content creation, you can do, then it can be of major helps. Yeah, now these are the challenges that you have to face because of the data security. Okay, now data security game, I want to draw your attention here. The ChatGPT is developed by OpenAI, and that OpenAI confirmed that the private data, that is the history, was available to the paid users of the ChatGPT version. I mean, like let's say you are a free user, I am a paid user. Now, out of these paid users, 1.2% users were able to view the history of other users as well. So this is the reason on, I think, 20th of March, the history was disabled. If you people might have used this ChatGPT, you must know that the history was disabled for 20th of March. So the reason was that because there was a bug, it exposed the history of other users to paid users. So it was a bug. So that is why history was disabled that time. Okay, now these are the limitations. Sir, it can be biased. Microsoft owns Outlook, Microsoft owns Bing, Microsoft owns ChatGPT, Microsoft owns Outlook, Microsoft owns many more things, and many more, has invested in many more companies. So it can provide you biased answers. There are chances. So we have to, we have to make up our mind that yes, there may be a biased answer. Common sense, as I already discussed, there may be illogical answers from ChatGPT sometimes. Domain, okay, it's of a limited domain. A few things require specialized knowledge. Like let's say I want to convert financials to Index. So it is a specialized area. No, not everyone can do that. I'll also need expertise. So that are something. That is something which cannot be replaced so easily. Trust is something that is also going to come slowly and steadily in this ChatGPT. Okay, continued development. Okay, future is very bright. While video conferencing, Microsoft Teams, owned by Microsoft. So you are going to very soon see ChatGPT there. Email client Outlook, you are going to see ChatGPT here. Google will incorporate Bard AI there. Okay, this is what I use for those who think ChatGPT kaise karna, how to use this and everything. If you know how to text a friend, you know how to use the ChatGPT. Now, these are other useful AIs which you can see. I have already discussed a few. Okay, now this is a posting that was posted by OpenAI. OpenAI is the same company that generated ChatGPT. Now, what is the posting? Kill switch engineer. The pay is 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs dollar per year. I am also thinking whether it is filled or not. I'll also think to go there whether it's available right now. Because if you read what it is, listen, we just need someone to stand by the servers all day and unplug them if this thing turns on us. That means if ChatGPT turns against humanity, we need someone to unplug the servers from power, and so that we can live easily and we can relax. The human race is saved. You'll receive extensive training on the code word, which will shout if GPT goes off the deep and starts overthrowing countries. So they have thought that it will start overthrowing countries as well. So you can just think how much strong they are thinking, and it's the same company that has generated GPT. So they have foreseen it. So also they are telling that if you know how to split a bucket of water on the servers, that would be an added advantage. Okay, I have already said the people who are going to use ChatGPT are going to replace, not the AI. With this, I will conclude the presentation of mine. I hope I went 5-10 minutes above my prescribed time, but yes, I hope you really enjoyed the session, and I'm thankful that DAB gave me the opportunity for deliberating. And over to Rupali ma'am.
Thanks, Akhil. It was indeed a very amazing, and I don't know, I am just like, what would be the future is just a question mark in front of me. And for that, I believe we have Sridharan sir also, who would be adding knowledge to, obviously, all the participants would be thinking what else is there in ChatGPT. So just to introduce Sridharan sir, he is a chartered accountant, cost and management accountant, and MBA, has done DISA as well as FAFD with ICAI. Over 11 years of experience in finance divisions with public and private sector enterprises, and over 13 years in software industry with leading MNCs in India and abroad. And sir, your experience is so amazing. He has worked as financial analyst, financial planning and analysis, enterprise resource planning, lead business transformation engagements, and he is an advisory in forensics, information security, due diligence, project financing, appraisals, SOX audits, banking regulatory. Sir, I'm just taking some of the names. And he is a freelancer, a coach, as well as a mentor in strategic management, financial management and taxation, corporate managerial assessments. So the list is never ending. So, sir, we welcome you on behalf of DAB, and I am sure all the participants are enjoying and would enjoy the next 1.5 hours too. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And it's all over to you.
Thanks,
we'll be taking
Rupali.
the question answer. So just a second, we'll be taking the question answer section in the end.
Yeah.
So would like to request Akhil as well to remain in the session.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll rejoin after I reach home.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Rupali, for your introduction. And friends, it has been a pleasure. I'm just going to keep you engaged for next 85-90 minutes. Hopefully, we'll have good time together. It's only sharing of knowledge. All of us are experts in our field. We all know it. And the whole idea is to share whatever I have come across, I have learned in the process of my professional endeavors. So feel free, unlike Akhil's very, very practical driven session, this is not going to be that much practical, though I'm going to bring in the practical dimensions of my own professional experience to you for you to enjoy the session together. Okay, let's move on. The topic given to me today is empowering professionals with cutting-edge AI insights. We all know AI is kind of sweeping the entire world. And one big advantage or difference, there's going to be a question which I'm going to ask you towards the end of the session based on this slide. I'm pausing for about few seconds. Have a look at this slide. And then when I ask this question towards the end, be ready for yourself, not for myself. Thank you. Moving on. We will cover what AI is all about, how it is going to change the way we are conducting audit, and how it is going to disrupt our accounting and reporting function. I've taken two segments predominantly where chartered accountants are, or professional accountants for that matter, are involved today. One is audit, the other one is the CFO function, or the predominantly financial and accounting besides the reporting. I kept these two as the areas for our AI's intervention and AI's purpose with which we can move on in our professional path. This is a very interesting slide, as even Akhil was kind of touching this upon. Many of us, as professional accountants, we have these questions or kind of fear, if I can use the word. We all know that AI systems and machine learning, etc., are coming. But now it is almost a reality. When I say reality, it is live today. So it's no more saying that we will run or we will cross the bridge when it comes, etc., etc. It is now or never times. The other question, what does it mean for our profession? What is going to be the future? Are we looking at the way the machine is going to take over my job? Or is it going to offer the intelligentsia, which as an expert, I'm going to offer? For a chartered accountant, is AI a boon or a bane? Many times we always have the doubt, lingering doubt. Are we referring to the right data? That means relevance or data relevance is something extremely important. And with AI, how are you going to ensure that? How AI is going to supplement us? Of course, data integrity, how are you going to ensure? Still, please remember, the onus is on us, either as a practicing professional or as a CFO. We are still completely owning up the responsibility of data integrity. And finally, can AI replace our intelligence and wisdom? I think Akhil answered this very clearly, and I would like to provide a little bit more of that down the line. So quickly, AI at a very, very high level, we will start from there to give you a flavor what it contains. I'm not going to read through line by line, but it is just for our reference, but I'll keep touching the very key elements within. AI is actually the very idea of AI when it was launched and where it is today. It is able to replicate the human intellectual processes. That is precisely what it does, nothing else. And how it can benefit? It can benefit on saving time. Extremely important. In fact, Mr. Nanda was highlighting that when he was highlighting about how technology is going to be useful. And he did touch upon how a technology, especially AI, can operate 24/7. As complex today or so far, complex because the machine is going to put it across threadbare. Now, why AI has taken the front seat today? We all know that the speed at which we work, the speed with which we are able to absorb, interpret, it is going to be really outsmart by the machine. I'm not saying machine is superior, but the speed again. We saw in Akhil's presentation, ChatGPT, how it is able to quickly assimilate data and bring up a suggestion. Now, how we are going to operate? We are going to narrow down our approach of the picks from technologies like AI. Of course, there are risks in every technology, in every new venture. Likewise, here, the challenges are the consumer privacy, danger to humans because it's kind of a threat. And since it is across geographies, still the regulations, the legal regulations especially, are not so clear. We saw organizations like Facebook, Twitter, Google, etc., are being looked upon by countries when they talk about data privacy, data security, so on and so forth. Same thing AI is also likely to face, and it's already facing for that matter. So that way, it brings in benefits as well as risks. Now, these are the broad level of components within AI. One is robotics, like the chatbots, which we talked about. The RPA, which is very, very common nowadays. RPA is the process automation. We have been talking about engineering business processes, re-engineering business processes, etc. Now, robotics is going to help that in a very, very mind-boggling way. Predictive AI, again, through the deep learning and machine learning part, this is going to be extremely, extremely easy for users. It can ask very detailed level of questions to iterate and eventually bring out the likely answers. That means decision making is going to be rather different than what it was. NLP is nothing but the natural language processing, in which, like what even Akhil was mentioning in the previous session, it can give in multiple languages. It can understand the speech. It can understand the images, translate across languages. And this way, it is going to help immensely professionals to focus on the core areas. Machine learning, I think this is the backbone of AI. One of the key backend processes is done through machine learning or otherwise deep learning. These are the two major elements which actually work behind the scene of AI. It's actually the unsupervised learning, the reinforced learning, and supervised learning. Again, this depends on how we are going to use these technologies for us to look at how are we going to predict our recommendations, how are we going to substantiate our recommendations, and also give objective way of analysis when we are putting our decisions on the block. Finally, the deterministic processes wherein we can define the rules. Please understand here, as subject matter experts, we will be defining the rules. The machine is not going to define the rules. The logic is always going to be given by experts like us. And through RPA, etc., which we covered, it can automate the repetitive tasks. See, the tasks are going to be on, and on. So machine is going to supplement, work together with our human brains to make it easier for the end stakeholders. That is where the whole thing lies. Eventually, how it is going to benefit the mass or the users. I've just brought down some pros and cons of AI. Couple of them we spoke about increasing the efficiency levels. And especially when we are talking about efficiency, for us, more pertinently, it can analyze financial data, generate reports, identify patterns, so on and so forth. And more importantly, accounting frauds. This is something which will have enormous value the way we are going to look at things. How businesses are going to employ AI? They will have more data. They will have relevant data, and they will have data-driven decisions because it can actually help them to better their value to their end customers. And finally, I was talking about the speed. The speed, any decision today, there's a great saying, as we all know, decision delay is decision denied. They generally quote with judgment, but then it is very pertinent even in our corporate life. A decision delay is kind of decision denied. No, I think in this competitive world, we cannot afford to be delayed anymore. And because of the constructive competition, unless we take the lead, we cannot have the first mover advantage. Some of the negatives of AI, it is very complex to implement. And please understand, it cannot create anything of its own. Definitely, it is expensive, especially in the initial stages. And more importantly, as I told you, this is where we can perhaps consider ourselves safer today, that it cannot think out of the box. As we speak now, the problem is, as technology keeps moving, we don't know how it is going to change the entire landscape. We will now talk about the next few slides. We will cover how audits, one of our key offerings for the clients, how audit is actually going to change the way we have been conducting so far and the days ahead. We all know we typically follow the 4 or 5 steps: the setting up, the plan, field work, and then reporting. I'm not going to go into it now. Where there is scope for automation. In audit setup, we can actually look at similar audits done. For example, a firm which has got multiple clients in the same vertical. When I say vertical, it could be retail, it could be telecom, it could be anything, FMCG, whatever. If we have done so many audits of the past, the repository, since we have knowledge sharing sessions which are rather limited, automation helps. What were the approach to audit? How did we go about benchmarking? What are the risks involved? So on and so forth, including controls. Our focus as an auditor is all going to be going through the checklist and then maintaining that one to ensure that we deliver as per the expectations of the client. 2, and most importantly, to maintain our professional standing. And AI in this space, through predictive analysis, RPA and NLP, is going to be extremely useful. Moving further, next is audit plan. Audit plan, where there are multiple ways we execute our plan or when we conceive and design our plan. What is critical is the analysis part as we move into the strategic element of audit planning. Especially once we have to go through the standard operating procedures, and the very heavily document-driven policies, etc., etc. I think we saw even in Akhil's presentation how ChatGPT, which is again an AI tool, can help in bringing the relevant parts for us to consider and then move faster. Again, here in our planning, NLP, predictive analysis, and RPA would be extremely handy when we are going to plan our audits. The third one, which is again very, very dynamic, is the field work. We can plan, we can set up audit, but then conducting it in the field has got its own dynamics. We all know that. Kind of AI tools can actually bring it to the better way of positioning the observations. Then data modeling.
You are not audible, Sridharan sir. I feel the connection is lost or breaking.
Okay, just a second. I'll try to possibly move it. Just a second. No, it's fine. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe briefly it got lost. I'm sorry about that. Okay, participants, sorry, there was some interruption of bandwidth. My voice was not audible to all of you for about maybe 10-15 seconds. Let me quickly repeat the last point again, and then we move forward. So especially when we are talking about aggregating and interpreting data, we always face the challenges of the volumes. And most important in the current day, fraudulent data detection. Here is where technology is going to be immensely useful, especially doing our analysis on exceptions and what we are going to define as fraudulent ones than the acceptable norms. One, to the stakeholders and also us as a professional auditors. And finally, reporting. We saw Akhil coming out with, it can give the entire minutes of meeting in no time, provided we set the context. We can see how are we going to project our data with the key issues and risks. And finally, the quantification of issues, because we always face this problem. We go with our observations, and upon interaction with the client, they say this is not relevant, this is not logical, this is not material, so on and so forth. Now, how are we going to bring that to much more logical, much more professional, so that on one side we don't lose our significance and we stand up or standards, whatever you want to call it. Again, the tools of AI are going to be immensely handy in ensuring that we are able to perform our role better. Quickly, I'm not going to spend much time on this particular slide because the techniques and how they are going to be useful for our day-to-day life, that is audit. We spoke about document classification, in which we've got different categories of documents, like policies of the organization, SOPs, so on and so forth. Then, how are we going to bring our audit observations so that we can generate a very clear-cut template, a professional template, And when we talk to clients, we can talk to them from multiple dimensions. Similarly, data analytics. This is, we all know, something extremely critical to our profession. And more importantly, our inferences of the outcomes. And this, the search and retrieval is something again, which we spoke about earlier. And we can actually, by search and retrieval, how we can contribute to our end client is by giving early warning signals. This is what I was talking about earlier slide on our fraud detection. Most of the audits are tilting towards fraud detection and prevention. Slowly and steadily. That means unless and until we become more objective, it is rather difficult to convince and to provide these scenarios to our end clients more confidently. And of course, the statistical analysis and sentiment analysis are the other two areas wherein we can actually bring out the right perspective to the clients, drawing reference from the industry, drawing reference from the geography, drawing reference from the practices elsewhere, professional practices elsewhere. That way, we will be in a much, much better position. Leave it on convincing the client. Stand on our principles. And that way, these kinds of technologies are going to be extremely handy. I'm not going to touch upon this because we already covered different. Now, the next 3 slides are going to be extremely useful for our day-to-day practitioners. Because these things, we use it now in a detailed way, but these are going to change completely. Sampling, I think again, Akhil touched this point, and even Nandaji touched this point. All along, we have been relying on sampling. Going forward, with the help of AI, we are not going to be dependent on sampling at all. We are going to be doing 100%. That way, we can leverage their technological advantages. Evidences. This is again one of the key areas for audit. The Internet of Things, again, an example, which can sense, detect, and recognize events. And that way, we can do our assurance function very, very well. So evidences would always be done by, we do not have to worry too much. We need to draw conclusions accordingly. Then controls, another dimension, which is extremely important for auditors, is going to be proactive. All along, we have been reactive. Now, how AI is going to change the space is, it is going to predict the expected outcomes. And then we can validate those predictions based on the machine's recommendations. So this way, we can be sure of 2 things. 1, whether proper controls are existing. 2, whether the controls are effective. These controls might be implemented, but are they being effectively utilized? Moving on. Or the evidence. We are touching about the evidence part in the previous point also. Here, we can take more data points. That means our audit quality would be different. And when we are going to propose suggestions or way forward mechanisms, we can be much, much more reliable. And even clients will appreciate, okay, this is based on 1, historical reference, 2, the logically future. And most importantly, they will look at industry as benchmark. Supposing we are doing a retail clients audit today, if we can show them the trend of the other clients in that phase, they'll be readily accepting our suggestions. The next one is continuous audit. This is not something which is there on paper or concept. Going forward with algorithms, this is going to give a very clear direction of continuous audit. So this way, by continuous audit, what we mean is this is going to be real-time audit. When we say real-time, we can actually sitting anywhere and without much of human intervention, we can ensure that the results are forthcoming. When I say results, the expected results of the management or the clients are forthcoming the way they look at from audit's objective. Following that very closely is our reporting naturally would be continuous. When the audit itself is going to be continuous, our reporting also would be continuous. And today, we face this problem. We do, for example, the previous quarter audit, we complete in the next quarter. By the time the management or key people, they go into the next quarter because they start, anyway, it's history. Okay. So the relevance of audit also is losing its sheen. And on the other side, the clients don't see that it is a minesweeper. And that is where the moment our reporting is going to be on trends, that is futuristic. That means our profession is going to be much more agile. And as I've been talking about, it is going to be with highest level of integrity. So we have been maintaining it, but it will be supplemented by our approach. We all know that our fundamental requirement is based on data. So role of an auditor is going to be changing from reviewer to interpreter, because the system is going to do most of the other areas of ensuring integrity of data, ensuring availability of data, so on and so forth. What we are going to focus on, how are we going to interpret the data and how are we going to see the future? That means we are going to play a truly enabler role. Though we have been talking about it theoretically, practically, we are going to demonstrate that we are going to be the future-driven professionals. Audit standards, I think this is going to go a complete or radical change, because the level of assurance is going to be different. All along, we are subject to, rather we are hesitating to give the level of assurance what is actually looked upon by clients. We ourselves are hesitant because we cannot completely rely on the sampling, whether it is representing the entire population or not. But now, with AI kind of tools, we can be confident on one side, and two, the clients would be immensely benefited because the audit report is going to be 360 degrees. And finally, auditors are going to be the true sense of strategic advisors. Audit teams, we are going to have only the intelligentsia coming in. And it is not going to be relying only on data, but most on the future, most on decisions, most on risks associated with those decisions. And finally, we will not be reinventing the wheel at all, because the reinventing of the wheel and outcome of the reinventing, etc., will be taken care by the machine. Our focus would be on highlighting issues, not only current, but also the likely ones. And what are the remedial measures which we are going to suggest or advise the client? And this way, I think many times I have seen my professional experience, and all of you would agree with me that many times managements ask the fundamental question to auditors: what am I getting out of audit? You are not helping me in decision making. You are not helping me in spotting the risks. You are not helping me with my decisions supported by data. Then why should I engage you as an auditor? This is because of a couple of known reasons. One is the timeliness. We have been post facto, or kind of, we are looked upon as post-mortem, which has got no relevance to the current issues. Though our role is as specified by the regulations, etc., could be justifiable, but to the management, to the business, unless and until we play the true enabler role, we are not playing the expected professional output. With that, I am moving on to the accounting and reporting, which is the other side of our spectrum. And there is a lot of disruptions which are going to really wreck the way we are functioning. We all know the benefits. I have taken this picture from keeping in mind the end-to-end spectrum, all the way from client onboarding till we service our customers, not from accounting perspective, from a business perspective. So from client onboarding to sales, and then operations, governance, risk, compliance, control. Now, how we are going to change the ecosystem? We are going to look at the number of handoffs. When I say handoffs, intervention or changing over of responsibilities, accountability, so on and so forth. From that, we are going to a very lean team. A lean team supported by technologies, and that way it is going to provide more confidence. From multiple validations, it is going to be much lesser because machine is going to throw out all possible errors at the input stage itself. In ERP parlance, we always have something called cross-validation rules. Today, it is being humanly done. Going forward with tools of AI, it is all going to be done all by the machine. Then the rework rates, which is actually hampering us with cost, time, and effort. So we are going to move to the zero exception tolerance. In this case, there are two important objectives which are getting met. One is there is absolutely no scope for discretion. Second, efficiencies of controls would always be driving the business and not by the discretions. The other one is other important element. We always look at the turnaround time, T plus N calculation. That is, when it is actually going to happen, the transaction is going to happen today, we need 4 days for converting that into a transaction, so on and so forth. From there, it is no more going to be T plus. It is going to be real time, instantaneous. That means this is going to help the business on one side and also the finance function. Finance function will focus on decision, efficiency, and improvement, and not on recording. That's going to be the change. Now, another important thing when it comes to compilation of accounts and reporting is adjustments. When I say adjustments, I mean manual adjustments. From there, it is going to be practically real-time P&L. I recall my article days, which is almost 30-35 years since. Our company audits, we used to burn our time in tallying trial balance, consuming 75% of the overall audit effort. Today, with a click of a button, we can have the trial balance. So it brings in another dimension. Those days, audit was essentially doing the trial balance or making the trial balance, I would say. From there, today, we are very different. We are talking about risk-based, we are talking about governance, we are talking about compliance, so on and so forth. Want of data or availability of data was a problem earlier. Today, data, too much of data has become a problem. That means we need to have the intelligentsia for this much of volume of data and then lay our hands appropriately. That is where the biggest challenge lies today. From manual reporting, we all know reconciliation is a nightmare. Even today, when we are talking about any reconciliation, it's a nightmare. From there, we are moving to the world wherein a calculation engine by tools like AI, it is going to bring out very clearly how the calculations would emerge. We are all talking about forecasting, P&L and forecasting balance sheet, right? With a click of a button today, we will be in a much, much better position to see the end financial dimension. That is where technology and especially AI is going to bring in a complete change the way we are going to look at things. And we spoke about sample, and that is going to be almost out of scene, the sample-driven approach. Okay. How it is going to help the business? AI is going to ensure the policy adoption. We have been talking, and as auditors, practically we see even today, policies on our one side, how efficiency they are put in place is another, and third, the outcome. We always analyze the outcome, whether it is a lack of policy or the weak policy or the adoption of those policies. These are the things we bury our time. Going forward, it is going to be proactive. And as auditors, that means we need to change our approach of how to conduct an audit. Or as an insider of representing the finance function, we are going to look at the policies, how they are laid down. We have to, our shift in focus is going to be on efficiently conceptualizing the policy and not on adoption or practical way of looking at it. The next important gain is streamlining data entry. I spoke about this even a little earlier, because anything which is not in line with the principles laid down is going to be rejected by the system outright at the beginning stage. That's the difference. Today, we have to backtrack. So, to me, there may not be any adjustment entries for errors going forward. Professionally, there may be adjustment entries for different scenarios, but not on mistakes with respect to data. Through AI kind of technologies, there is going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to eliminate risk of fraud, but it can substantially bring down the risk of fraud. All because transactions are all going to be machine controlled. transactions are going to be supervised by machines. That means there is no discretion possible. Still, that's why I said, I'm not going to use the term eliminate. I'm actually looking at reducing it in a significant way. And we all know budget forecasting. People who have got exposure to the Middle East region of the globe, the finance man's main job there is budget and variance analysis. Going forward, AI is going to bring a completely new spectrum to this. Though we bury ours, we spend a lot of time as finance professionals working in accounts department, preparing the budget, floating templates, collecting data, validating data, and then preparing a budget. AI can intelligently ask the questions to the nodal departments or user departments with respect to, for example, marketing department is going to ask for more allocation to advertisement. Just giving an example here. It can intelligently ask when they're going to ask for more money than last year. Machine can respond saying that your last 3 year actuals are this of expenditure vis-a-vis what is your performance. Now, when you are going to ask for more money, two questions are going to be asked. One, justification of the expenditure or increase in expenditure. Second, what are the results which you are going to bring in with respect to quantum, with respect to financial data of improvement in top line. All these questions automatically the machine is going to ask. I'm not going to talk about on tax preparation much because already we are seeing GST is one of the very complex applications in a country like India. With ERP kind of applications, already we are able to bring down drastically our effort and time with respect to data to ensure that we are compliant with the rules and regulations. Of course, one can always argue the rules keep changing. Of course, yes, that is where our professional wisdom would pay. And machine can remove predominantly the way we look at things. In my slide, my next slide is going to focus on the accountant's role, how it is going to change constructively. We spoke about we will not be accountant anymore. We will not be recording transactions anymore. Rather, we are going to be consultant and advisors. Accountants can specialize in specific areas like risk advisory, forensic accounting, etc. than the typical way of controls, typical way of reconciling transactions, so on and so forth. More importantly, we can use AI to completely take our responsibilities or routine activities and focus only on the high value addition. But what is important here? There are two important things which come as riders. One, as even Nanda was highlighting earlier, we need to be technology savvy. One important thing. Instead of looking at technology as an alien, we should perhaps look at how do we leverage it. For that, we need to practice, we need to learn the technology. The biggest challenge, as I see, as I've been working in the technology side of the domain for over 2 decades, the fundamental challenge is adopting technology. It's a mindset game to start with. But even when we have the mindset, the biggest challenge comes in technology changes often. I will possibly bring out a slide down the line. What is the next evolution of AI? While we are still struggling to understand, adopt AI, the Silicon Valley in the US or the technocrats or the other side of the world is moving towards the next evolution of AI. I'll come to that. At that point in time, I'll give a little bit more insight. So, accountants they're going to play a very meaningful role interfacing between the intelligentsia or the management objectives. I think the concept of management by objectives was there for very long, but all in theory. Now, we are going to actually practice the management by objectives of what is expected of than that of the routine pencil pushers. And this was the slide I was talking about. While we are still grappling with artificial intelligence, autonomous intelligence is the next evolution. The difference being, when I defined in my very second slide of artificial intelligence that can actually act with human intervention. In autonomous intelligence space, it is going to act without human intervention. That means the concept of neural networks, which is again the backbone of both AI and autonomous intelligence, it is going to be very, very different. I'll take the example of self-driving car. The state of California in the US has already given commercial clearance to self-driving cars. That means, like the Ubers and Olas are going to be very, very different landscape going forward. The robots, which we know, which have been using only mundane jobs, it is going to be smart enough. The neural networks is going to facilitate the machines or robots to ask intelligent questions. For example, bomb. Bill of material, we are all aware. Supposing the material mix is not done appropriately. Today, we come to know that only when the final goods are getting rejected. But going forward, robots are going to question and validate before they are fed into the machine. So that way, it is going to change the entire ecosystem. Care robots for the elderly. Now we are all talking about elderly homes. Now, robots are going to play that role at our homes. This is actually happening in the Western world, in the US, at the very, very early stages with autonomous intelligence. That means we can sit anywhere in the globe, give instruction to the robo sitting at our home to take care of our elders, at least on crisis. We can actually instruct robots to call this emergency number or local police. Supposing there's a burglary at our home or there's a medical emergency, we can actually create that. That is what is actually going to be autonomous intelligence all about. And already we are feeling the heat of artificial intelligence. Think of the scenario, the autonomous intelligence when it is going to be in place, how much of threat it is going to pose, not only to our profession, to every sphere of operation. And don't look just at the corporate world. In every walk of our life, I remember mid-90s when mobile phones were launched, or late 80s. Don't mistake me for picking out the particular year or era. When it was launched, mobile phone was looked upon as replacement to the landline telephones. From there, Where are we today? I think the first thing we pick is not even money when we step out of our homes or office. We pick our mobile phones only. Without that, we can't even transact anywhere. Even in a very shop, we use to make payment through UPIs. So carrying money is no more a burden. The risk of losing money is no more a burden. Of course, losing a mobile is definitely a problem. So the world is changing. When the world is changing, there are two ways of handling it. One, we change ourselves in tune. That's what we are doing, but we crib a lot. On the other hand, we start thinking intelligently so that we become the first movers. Let's understand very honestly, we are living in a very, very competitive world. Unless we move first, there are people waiting in the queue to move first. A leader is one who is going to lead the way and not to follow the leader. And everyone wishes to be a leader, but we don't take steps to lead. And the way to lead is understanding the scenario first. Accepting with an open mind what's happening and why it's happening. And most importantly, adopting that to perfection. When we say this, what is the common connecting point between AI and accounting? I showed the first slide in the beginning. Data is the connecting nerve between AI and accounting. There are different ways by which AI is going to disrupt the way we are functioning, be it in the space of audit or in the finance department or whatever it is. As subject matter expert, how we are viewing it? Are we viewing this technology as a black box or as an enabler? Extremely critical is we need to keep ourselves ahead of the curve as an enabler. Please understand, many times, I was citing that example a little earlier also. When audit as a function itself is not considered as something critical to a business, naturally auditors would not be, right? The moment we turn ourselves to enablers, automatically business would accept us. And accept us, I mean our suggestions, our outlook, the way we position our thoughts. The biggest challenge is for professionals like us. We think IT is supposedly threatening us, is actually bringing out a scare. Actually, it's not. We have seen when computers were coming in, I still remember very large organizations have only one EDP department where we used to have mainframe computers to run their data, to run reports, to take printouts, etc., etc. Today, a palm top can do everything, or for that matter, a mobile can do everything. So that is a metamorphic change which is brought in. The mobility as an application is something which, that means today we feel ourselves as outcast if you are not able to use the smartphone to its potential. Please understand, adoption is one side. The second step to the whole thing is, are we tapping its full potential? That is where, as professionals, we can play a very meaningful role. And these are two sides of a coin. On one side, we have technology or tools, including AI tools. And on the other side, we as professionals or subject matter experts, unless we collaborate, unless we make sure that we are able to gel, unless we run it together, we cannot optimize the delivery, our output, outcomes. And it's understandable that unless we become, see, we all know, I think fraternity, who's the audience today, can all appreciate the role of a secretary. I'm talking about personal secretary, which many of us would have seen in the earlier days, is no more in existence today. I'm not bringing this example that accountants would become someday like that. But there is a serious threat. When I say threat of mundane jobs, that means we need to evolve. We need to move upwards. We need to cross-train ourselves. We need to upskill ourselves to ensure that we move in times and we deliver what is expected of us as professionals. What is critical is, unless and until we play the role of partners in its truest sense, in its holistic sense, otherwise we'll be only conceptually talking or theoretically. It's all on paper, we say that, no? Paper tiger or whatever we call it. That is no more acceptable. Please understand, if we don't do it, the other profession is prepared to take it over. So the time has come now. It is now or never times. And it is changing rapidly. Huh? Why it is changing rapidly and hitting us badly is because the expectations keep changing. Now let's understand a very known phenomena. With the MNCs, multinational companies, after the globalization started operations in India, we see a very different scenario of corporate world. I'm not getting into that discussion now, whether it's good or bad, but there's a change. As an enabler, we have to move in tandem with the expectations. So my suggestion, keeping in mind of leveraging the best of AI, is to ensure that we grow together. I'm bringing this out now. In the world of AI, for us, when I say human growth, I'm talking about accounting fraternity for our reference at this point in time. Where is the potential? And please remember, the potential is there for growing together. Let me reiterate that multiple times. Now, for AI to grow in our sphere is, as I spoke about, reconciliations, reporting, FPA, the financial planning and analysis, accounting and auditing, so on and so forth. I think we will be very keen to know the potential for human growth. That is, as professionals, how do we grow? What is the potential in store for us? Naturally, we will be more aligned to business strategy and planning. We will start looking at financial engineering and re-engineering. It is no more writing a standard and adopting it. Whether it is giving the outcome, whether it is giving the best-in-class output, that matters a lot. That means our outlook would be more from measurable outcome basis than that of designing and implementing phase. Going forward, we will be more focusing on financial data science. That means meaningful data, data which can be dependable, data which is of qualitative in nature and which is multi-dimensional. That is critical. With most of the analytics being done by machines, where potentially we can play our role is, as I told you, in mostly onto advisory and consulting. That means we need to be strategic in our outlook in the first place. Let's put that way. Let's wear that hat. The moment, that means, I think let's not use the term strategy. Supposing I am the owner of my organization, my neck is always on the block. My outlook would be different, my approach would be different, my practices would be different. On the other hand, if I don't put myself in the block, what would happen is I'll find reasons, I'll be defensive. I think that's what we have been doing. When I say we, I'm not singling out the accounting fraternity. I'm talking about professionals in general, and more particularly finance professionals, because we, being an enabler, we always look at that is not right, this is not right. So I'm only the receiver. That means for the business owner, I become an overhead. Nobody wants to listen reasons today. Even as parents, we have got very limited patience for reasons. They say, no, the world is not binary. Unfortunately or fortunately, we are today in a scenario wherein say yes or no. Don't give me reasons. I remember to have read a book way back, 25 years back, The Art of Saying No. When I say no, N-O I mean, not that K-N-O-W. The art of saying no is very, very difficult. No? We have to learn that art. And I see the way forward is accept and embrace AI to succeed professionally, to grow professionally, to make a real mark as professionals. There is enough scope for us still to play, but the purpose has to be understood by us. The purpose has to be delivered. Not only the purpose written on paper and accepted. The key thing is how that is delivered. That means we have to be measured on outcomes. I think time is almost up for us to have the questionnaire. Rupali, can you please take over? Rupali?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. The floor is now open for questions, please.
Akhil, are you also available?
Yes, ma'am.
So there are many questions here in the question chat box, but I feel we should limit to some specific questions.
Yeah, please.
To start with, usage of ChatGPT, which both of the speakers have already mentioned, it is there for income tax, accounts, Excel, GST, corporate law, with various limitations, obviously. But if you could just summarize to what extent this would be useful for our profession.
Sridharan, should I?
Sir, please go ahead, Akhil.
Yeah.
I'll supplement. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, what I mean, whoever has asked this question, I just tell wherever I deliver the lecture on this ChatGPT deliberation, I just tell them, you write on a piece of paper what are the questions that comes into your mind, or what are the tasks in a day that you do. Just write them down. Next day, just repeat the whole process, but for every task, use ChatGPT. Now, then you will know what it can do, what it cannot do. Strangely, you will find that 90% of the tasks you will like what ChatGPT is doing. You will like what ChatGPT did. So that is something what I tell you. Just write down the task that you do, whatever it comes into mind, that whether it is possible that ChatGPT or not. Next day, you just try each and everything. That would be really, answer your question.
Just to add whatever Akhil said, please adopt and practice. I think that is the best way of making it real time. I think it can keep improving, and I think Akhil was actually explaining the real time, the way how to question it. We will actually become masters of questioning it.
Prompt engineering, sir.
Yeah, and then absolutely yes, absolutely yes.
True.
Yeah.
The next question is, recently a judge had used ChatGPT for giving a decision. Even CAs are using for writing letters, etc. I personally feel this is wrong. ChatGPT does not know sections, rules, notifications. Will it read in between the lines? Can you please throw light on this?
Actually, what he or she is trying to tell, that ChatGPT is not yet updated after September 21, for one thing. Another thing, the training data may be limited. But as I already told you, judgment, where you have to make an application of law, where you have to consider all the facts of the case, there you cannot use ChatGPT, or you cannot 100% rely on this. Yeah, you can use it for a case reference. You can use it for drafting, because I accept that my English is not that good as ChatGPT is. I accept that fact. So if I can use this for betterment of my drafting, it's I think there is no harm in doing that. Every person desires to be a better person, and that's what AI's whole purpose is. So I think it should be used. But yeah, that judge thing, I think Supreme Court or the bar would intervene. I don't know when, but
no, I think just again to add, Akhil, I think when he brought out the question live of the resolution or the the first
minutes
board meeting, minutes of the meeting, ChatGPT could bring down at least 80%. Let's start it that way. No, let's not, instead of looking at that, leverage that, add the 20% alone. As professionals, our time is 80% saved. Good enough. I think it's the first step to move in the right direction, if you ask me.
Yeah, sir. Completely agree.
So the question is, how can the conversation with ChatGPT be saved for future reference? And what is the risk? Like, how much data would be exposed?
Data, as I told, there was a bug. It was providing access. Yeah, it was. We all say that privacy is a myth. There is a saying that privacy is a myth. When I take cybersecurity session, I do say that it's a myth. You cannot be 100% safe when you have an internet connection. So leave the safety part at one place. I can show you the instances just by Googling that how can I get the Aadhaar card? How can I get the PAN? I can show you the passport of many people. So I don't think that it's a recorded session. So I don't think it's a platform to do that. But yeah, the privacy, leave apart privacy. There is nothing called as 100% safe when you come to the online world.
Akhil, you said you are an ethical hacker, no? Not an unethical hacker.
Yeah.
Not an unethical hacker.
No. Sir, it's actually the only profession which can add ethical before its degree. There is no one like ethical chartered accountant or ethical lawyer. Everyone has to be ethical.
Even otherwise.
Yeah.
Even otherwise. And let's also understand yet another dimension here. Each country follows a different security rules, data security rules, etc., etc. To that extent, we need to absorb it. Korea has got a different standard than China, than India, than US. And there is no global solution for all. I think it is evolving. And as I told you, we have been using Google crazily for the last 2 decades. And now they say it's all subject to stupid things. So everyone is now filing suit against Google. Now look at the way we have used it. Whereas our personal taste, etc., etc. So I think while there are benefits, we need to be consciously using it. That's why understand technology, embrace technology before using it. If you're a stranger, you can keep questioning it. Instead, the moment it becomes our own problem, then we'll find ways of smartly using it.
But can the chats be saved for future reference?
Yeah. Chats can be saved if you don't have actually that person is talking because he is using a free version. If you go to the free version in the night when the US and UK wakes up, the whole history goes down. Even ChatGPT servers go down for the free users. So at that point of time, they don't see history. For that, alternatively, you can use a Chrome extension of ChatGPT extension. Apart from that, there is an option export the chat. So you can export the chat as well. There is an option in ChatGPT, you can export the chat as well. So there is no issue in that thing.
And the next question is, does chat PDF read only electronic generated PDFs or any PDFs can be uploaded?
No, I don't think. I haven't tried with OCR. I would love if somebody can try it out with OCR. Because, OCR I haven't tried.
Paid version supports how many devices with one subscription?
I think I have tried it on Edge. At the same point of time I showed you, I tried once on Edge and I tried on Chrome. So at least 2 it is supporting. Rather, I will also try how many devices it supported on an off day. Yes, tomorrow I'll also definitely try how many devices by logging into every device simultaneously. So I think it's a good buy if you are using 10 partners and 10 partners can get $20, $170 per person per month. I think that's a really good deal.
And the next would be, what do you feel? Can this ChatGPT be real time in future, like updating amendments till date?
100% it is going to be in real time in April itself. I don't know that person is following this or AI or not, but once the browser plugins comes in, like the Bing that we saw in the practical demo, once the browser plugins come in, it is going to have the data even like it's 857 data, whatever has been published on web, it is going to have access. So it's going to give you a crux after accessing data till now. It's a period of 15 or a month or so.
What is the difference between? Would it be a public information then? Like whatever
public. What is Google?
Okay.
It will actually take Google data. Like if you allow me to share the screen. See, I went to Google. What it is, I went to the news app section. Now, if you see, this is 1 week ago, this is 23 minutes ago, this is 1 month ago. Okay. Now, if you go to ChatGPT right now, it won't be able to access these web pages, whatever information is right there. But if I provide them a link, like let's say copy link address, now I don't have 5 minutes of time also, so I would summarize it by this. Has recently faced issues with user reported logging loops and internal servers. Now let's just check it out. I think it was this one or something like that. Okay, now okay. So it has given you this one single para summary. I hope this will help. see, it's this much long. Okay, update 257. So each and every update till the issue has been resolved. So has recently faced issue. So you can see the issue has been resolved. So I can use giving them link and then access, or otherwise what will happen? No, like I have this model GPT phone beside is I'll see this browser plugin which I'll activate, and just like Bing, what it is showing here, searching for this so and so person. See, it is telling me I'm searching for OpenAI. So similarly, this function will be happening, but at the back end. So that is what plugin do. That's what developers are doing. That is why they have been prioritized access to this. What we say, the GPT-4 API keys. And
the ChatGPT, since it is real-time interaction, we are seeing this at this moment. I think all the plugins, wherever it is always doing at the back end. They keep upgrading, or they do something at the back end to make it robust.
Yeah, that is what API does.
Yeah, that's typically what API does as well.
Yeah.
So the plugins are only to improve the performance, or bring in more efficiency, bring it relevant, etc., etc.
Sure.
The next question goes: how can we use ChatGPT for share market? Can I use ChatGPT for one assignment work, 90 to 95% data correct, but we have to verify the same? So,
I think if ChatGPT can give the predictions for the future, I think everyone will become a millionaire or billionaire. Huh?
plus, sir, then comes the bias.
Right.
What we say.
Absolutely, we spoke about that.
Yeah, Microsoft has invested.
Bias.
Yeah, Microsoft has shorted a position on some stock. What it will show is you have to buy this.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that is. We cannot rely for that. Plus, at the end, it obviously gives a disclaimer. I'm not a financial expert. Invest using your caliber and your mind.
See, I think please understand ChatGPT or AI tools in a very, very simplistic way. It can compile data which we cannot otherwise reach out to. It can bring in the data to the extent of real time from different sources and bring it to us to facilitate our decision making. Let's understand that. As simple as that. Don't go beyond. Today, we are searching for data, burning our time for that. Going forward, we can leverage that. For all we know, human mind would be supreme all along. No doubt about it. Yeah.
The next is, can ChatGPT produce transcribe of a discussion on YouTube?
Transfer?
Can ChatGPT produce transcribe of a discussion on YouTube?
Sure. Content it can obviously generate. I think there is a website I cannot remember, but for YouTube Shorts, it can generate the whole videos. If you haven't, it can generate the whole video, sir, for YouTube Shorts. I don't remember the website right now, but if it can generate the content from YouTube, like I just type generate a transcribe for me for a YouTube video on, let's say, year-end planning for GST. So it will give me the exact speech, what we say, or exactly what you have to say along with the expression. Yeah, like you have to raise your voice here, decrease your voice there. It can generate like that also. So that is something going to happen.
I think artificial intelligence is mind-boggling. Huh? That's what I was talking about. And think about the space where going to be autonomous intelligence.
Sir, the whole movie is
brain used to pit. The moment you feel the question, you feel bad. Huh? You become egoistic actually. That's where the human mind is heading towards.
The whole movie scripts are being generated out of ChatGPT.
Yes.
And with that description, the whole videos are being generated. So there is no, you don't have to take camera anywhere, you don't have to put the whole crew, you don't have to take any actors or actresses anywhere. You have to just provide the description, it will generate the whole AI video.
So movie making is going to be disrupted. Well, let's understand that very honestly.
Every field.
Every field.
The questions are endless, but to take a few more, is it giving back text only, or it can give back Excel sheets like statements as well?
Right now, text only.
Yes.
Once the plugins are incorporated, like I have previewed the images as well. Like I send a prompt. I cannot remember the exact prompt, but I sent a prompt that provide me a CAT JPG for using it in a project and provide me a preview here. So it actually provided me in the answer the preview along with the link of the image from where it took that image. So yes, it's on the basis of prompt you can generate the preview here. I actually forgot, and I don't know. I don't think it's in my history right now also.
What are the auditing softwares used in Big Fours, like AI-based softwares? If you have any idea?
No, I don't have any idea. They are actually tailor-made. It's better if you ask a Big Four guy who's into audit. I haven't been into Big Four.
No. The key thing is they definitely use as per the latest data which we have got, the adoption of AI tools by Big Four is to the extent of 39% in their audit processes and audit practices. So they use to the extent of 39%. Please understand that everything has to be testified. We need to be very honest about it, and it has to be robust enough. And still everything is evolving. And adoption, because when our report is going to the public domain, we are subject to our own policies, frameworks, so on and so forth, including our own standards, professional ethics and standards. So it is not that easy. But then adoption is going predominantly, as I was highlighting, the audit plan and audit execution, to the extent as I speak now, it's about 39%. That's what I read from the Big Fours.
Do we need to learn Python to work as functional consultant?
I mean, the basic knowledge, if you can learn, it's good. But I don't think I don't know whether it's to generate a query. Obviously, you need a Python script, but that can be provided by ChatGPT to me also. So I won't be. I don't need a website coding also, because there are no code website builder tools available in the market. Apart from that, if you need a custom-made code, it can also generate the code as well.
Let me give a live example today. What's happening for the software industry? They conduct a coding interview over web. Okay. Supposing I'm taking the interview, they will give a scenario. I need to write a complete code, compile it, apply it to whether and ensure that it's working or not. My solution is working or not. You know what? Funnily, all the recent interviews, people open another screen. Of course, they will have at the back end, ChatGPT gives the entire solution. That's what's happening. So now they're slowly disbanding, conducting coding interviews remotely or virtually. That's actually happening.
And plus, apart from that also, sir, you just think in coding, if you will require a person who is having a good knowledge of coding, who know how the flow is going to maintain. But if this is happening with ChatGPT, you can think that the person, if we require 10 people, it can be done by 3, 5, 4 people.
As simple as that. I think we need to look at the efficiency factor or time, turnaround time, etc., output driven, so on and so forth. And it's a validation tool. Supposing I'm a reviewer now, I can use ChatGPT to corroborate. I think as an auditor, we can do that. And supposing I want to ensure whether my team has done the right job on the field. How much of time? For example, today we don't have a scientific method of effort estimation. Let's give that example. Now, how much time it will take to complete a particular job? Today we do only post-mortem time recording. but whether they are efficiently put up across. I think slowly it's evolving, but it is going to be, if you seriously look at it, it is enhancing the way we look at things.
Many questions are revolving around this theme, whether what will happen if the evil part of ChatGPT comes up, or what would be the consequences and all these.
For that we have that opening of kill switch engineer, so don't you worry.
And I don't feel any AI can replace human brain anytime.
Never, no way. Never. It's just not possible.
It might be the only answer that we have as of today.
Absolutely.
And so we need to conclude this session, but indeed a wonderful session by both our speakers. And I feel not many of these sessions would be needed to just understand the concept of ChatGPT. This one session was just an introduction. And I believe our DAB would definitely come up with much more sessions on ChatGPT. And I would like to thank both our speakers for such a wonderful session and your valuable time. Thank you very much. Thanks to all the participants as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sridharan.